this decisive game in the Smythe Division Final is Dave Newell, the linesman, Ray Scapanello, and Gerard Gauthier. For the third consecutive game, Reggie Lemelin, the winner of the last two, is the starting goaltender for the Calgary Flames. His playoff record at 3.97 goals against average. Andy Moog, his first start, he has played only 31 minutes. That was in Game 5. He did not allow a goal in regular season play. 27 wins, 8 losses, and 1 tie. The Penticton, British Columbia native. In goal tonight as Grant Fuhr is on the bench. He has started all other Edmonton playoff games in this 1984 Stanley Cup playoff series. Now to the attack. Gregg with a shot to save by Lemelin. Picked up along the boards. Gregg tried to get it to the point. It was broken up and dumped down the ice by the Calgary Flames. The master manipulator, Bob Johnson, has made 2 more lineup changes for tonight. Hunter and Bozak are in. Gretzky with the puck to Curry. Off the side of the net. Curry gets it again, tried to play it back to the point. It was broken up, and the Calgary Flames go to the attack. Long drive by Crom. Rysbrough tried to pick up the rebound, and it appears as though Andy Moog may be hurt. Moog is still down after making the save on Crom. He broke a stick in the process.
Well, that's something that both teams have done very effectively. It's that second man head for the net in case of a possible rebound. But you notice on the play that the Calgary Flame forward is squeezed off into Andy Moog. That was Randy Gregg that was doing the screening.
Peter Miller comes out to tend to Andy Moog as a very anxious Glenn Sather looks on. There has certainly been a fair amount of pressure on Glenn Sather, the president, general manager, and coach of the Edmonton Oilers over the past few days.
Looking at Bob Johnson, of course, he's very superstitious. He prepares his team so well. The other night, he took them to a movie called Romancing the Stone. Well, before tonight's game, the team watched Rocky III, and Bob said, we got to get him in the mood for that kind of a game.
Well, as Bob Johnson said, in attending movies the night before critical games, the Flames are 3-0. So, superstitious individual he is, he decided Rocky III would be the movie best suited for this team in preparing for this game tonight. Now Gretzky plays it ahead to Messier. Messier in across the line, trying to go around McInnes. He takes him into the boards. Kevin Lowe follows up. Feeds it in front. Gretzky couldn't get the shot away. Loose puck in the Calgary zone. Back to the line now for Fogelin. Fogelin takes the shot. It just goes wide. Lowe from the point. Dumping it in behind the net. Gretzky out front. He fired it wide. A penalty is coming up. From Northlands Coliseum in Edmonton, this is Stanley Cup 84 on CBC.
Now, Alan McInnes, he leads the Calgary Flames in assists with 11 of them. No goals, has been quite a factor on defense. You'll see it in front of the net as the cross-check takes place. The Oilers, great opportunity to get on the scoreboard with the power play.
In the playoffs on the power play, the Oilers have only been able to hit on 7 of 34 attempts. Paul Reinhart moves into the face-off circle against Mark Messier. We played 1 minute and 10 seconds of this opening period. From the face-off, Jamie McCowan behind his own net, being harassed by Anderson. Up along the boards for Croft. Ahead to Mike Eaves. Breaking in against Paul Coffey. Eaves with a shot off Coffey's leg, and he takes it to the corner. Now the Oilers to the attack, led by their 40-goal scoring defenseman, Paul Coffey, played in behind the net. Around the boards to the other side, Randy Gregg trying to keep it in. Finally, it's poked free into the neutral zone by Eaves. A pass to Willie Lindstrom, cutting in on the right side. Lindstrom back to the point. Randy Gregg feeds it into Messier. Back to Gregg to the other side for Coffey. The Oilers moving it around, trying to set it up. They were looking in front for Willie Lindstrom, but it's cleared by the Flames with 1:08 remaining in the penalty to McInnes.
Good anticipation by Paul Reinhart, but he has been quite a performer offensively as well as defensively for the Flames.
Reinhart has been very, very cool. When the Flames have had tendencies to start running around in their own zone, it has been Paul Reinhart who has settled them down. Here's Kevin Rowe trying to cut in. He was looking for Semenko, and the play was broken up by Jamie McCowan. It's dumped down the ice.
Well, we certainly expected the Edmonton Oilers to come out of the gate with reckless abandon, the crowd behind them. And for the Calgary Flames, they had to try to shut the gate, close them down, and just get some good goaltending from Lemelin.
Back to Kevin Lowe with a shot. The save. Lemelin way out of his net to cover up, with Lowe driving in, looking for the rebound. And there are 24 seconds remaining in the penalty to McInnes.
Now, there's a couple of ways of looking at it. The Oilers will either score 2 or 3 quick goals in the first period, or they'll be vulnerable because they take a lot of chances for 2 or 3 against. And I think that's what the Calgary Flames want to do, capitalize on being the over-aggressive team. Good save by Lemelin, comes out to challenge, and then covers up that rebound. This game tonight will be decided by goaltending. Mark my word.
The third straight start for Reggie Lemelin. He has 2 back-to-back wins. The other victory in this series, the second game, played on April the 13th. Don Edwards in goal. 6-5 in overtime. The Flames won it. Edwards was superb, stopping 54 shots. On the face-off, an opening for the Calgary Flames, and they fire it down the ice. Gary Curry forced behind his own net by Eaves, who has had a strong playoff series. Ahead to Linsman now. Linsman across the line. Linsman trying to go rink wide with it. Gretzky couldn't do anything with it. It comes to the line, but not out. The Flames are at full strength. A shot by Linsman, and it was knocked down by Conroy. He takes it to the corner. Gretzky also comes in. The puck kicked up along the boards, and Prom fires it down the ice, and this will produce an icing call against Calgary. Tonight's game is coming to you from Northlands Coliseum in Edmonton. Gary, during that McInnes penalty, good penalty killing by the Flames. They restricted the Oilers to just 1 shot.
Well, the shot that did go on net, Lemelin made a good save. Don, as we look at the matchups here, it'll be Hunter against McDonald. Sather has to have Hunter shut down number 9, Lanny McDonald. And getting the last change, I'm sure that will be the matchup for the rest of this game.
McDonald, as I mentioned earlier, started slowly in the playoffs. He now has 6 goals and 6 assists. None of those goals, of course, any bigger than the overtime winner on Good Friday at the Saddle Dome in Calgary.
Now, Lanny had mentioned, I struggled early. I just didn't have the bounce in my legs. But as the series went on, I got a little more enthusiasm, as did the rest of the team.
Back to the line, a shot right on, and that is kicked out by Lemelin. Coffey trying to work in. The puck is loose in the corner, poked in behind the net now for McCowan. McCowan up along the boards, gets it ahead for Dan Quinn, breaking in with McDonald. Quinn for McDonald, and it was deflected high by goaltender Andy Moe. Now coming back, Kevin McClellan. McClellan has knocked off the puck by McCowan. It's close here, Hughes. He fired it wide. Great chance for Pat Hughes as he stole that puck, and there are penalties coming up. Hunter will be going off, and Stanley Cup 84 resumes in a moment.
Now, penalties have certainly hurt the Edmonton Oilers, and again, Dave Hunter, watch the job he does with McDonald against the boards. He gets that elbow up. A bad penalty to take in the offensive zone. I mean, you want to cover McDonald, but you can do it legally. In Game 5, the Oilers had a 2-man disadvantage, and Calgary scored. Here they are in the power play.
Well, in Game 5, the Calgary Flames certainly took advantage of those Edmonton penalties. They scored 3 power play goals. They're having a little trouble against the forechecking of the Oilers, getting out of their own zone. Now they move in across the line. The play is broken up, and it's dumped back to center ice. McInnes gets it to Hawk and Lube. Lube dumps it ahead to Bozek. Bozek drop pass for Eaves. He tried to return it. It was broken up by Coffey. McInnes from the line with a drive, and Andy Moe got a pad up to make the save. In Game 5, Andy Moe took over from Grant Fuhr after Fuhr had given up 5 goals through the first 29 minutes of play, and Moog played very well in the last period and a half.
Well, Andy said this morning, gee, I finally get to play. He's looking forward to the chance. Okay, watch for 27. Eddie Beers from the Flames. In Game 5, he was instrumental in 3 goals going in the net because he got in front of Grant Fuhr. He has to do the same thing against Danny Moog, get in front of him, set up the screen. Who's the guy that's going to eliminate him? I guess Randy Gregg would be the logical choice.
From the faceoff, Coffey takes it behind his own net, up along the boards for Gretzky. Gretzky working against Quinn, unable to get away from him, and the Flames take over in their own zone. It's McInnes on the wing for Lanny McDonald. McDonald trying to get away from Coffey. It comes back to the line. McInnes with a shot saved by Andy Moog. To the line, kept in by McInnes. McInnes winding up again. He's fired it wide. It comes back to the point for Reinhart. Reinhart lost it, and now the Oilers break up. Here's the 2-on-1. Coffey with Messier. For Messier. In alone, and the save by Lemelin. Great action at both ends of the ice as Mark Messier put in home free by Paul Coffey, and Reg Lemelin took it away from him. Now it's Reinhart across the line, trying to drop it back, broken up and fired down the ice with 29 seconds left in the penalty. McInnes chased behind his own goal by Pat Hughes. The defenseman with the big shot breaks it across the line. Winds up, and that hit Vogler. Kept in by the Flames and then cleared down the ice by Pat Hughes.
Well, the Flames certainly are not getting their shots through as the Oilers are blocking the shots when they exist from the point.
And the Edmonton Oilers are now back at full strength with Hunter coming out of the penalty box and an appreciative response from the capacity crowd at the Coliseum for the penalty-killing job. Hockenloob attempting to break in. It was poked away from him. It comes up along the boards for Hunter. Deflected into the center ice area. Good check there as Conroy stepped into McClellan. Now Mike Abe across the line trying to get around low. Taken out of the play neatly. Vogler along the boards trying to get out of there. Having some difficulties against Conroy. Finally it's cleared. 13:21 the time remaining in this scoreless opening period. Game 7 of the Smythe Division Final. The puck fired into Edmonton territory. An icing call will be assessed against the Flames. With the score, Calgary nothing, Edmonton nothing. More Stanley Cup excitement after this message. Linsman into the face-off circle against Risebrough. Linsman with Kozar and Lumley. Risebrough with Hunter. Shot at the line, and Lemelin has it. That puck was trickling to the line, and Lemelin just reached back to the chagrin of Glenn Sather and kept it out.
Face-off becomes so very important. Lumley actually didn't get much wood on it. Juggled by Lemelin. Is it going in? And one thing we noticed is that referee Dave Newell was in perfect position to see if that puck actually did cross the line, which he signified it did not.
Linsman to Lumley again, and his shot bounces this time to the goal, and Lemelin was able to flip it to the corner to Jamie McCowan. Now it's Hunter on the right side, trying to get around Don Jackson. Hunter is spun around, and Randy Gregg fires it around the boards to Lumley. Into the center ice area, but McCowan is back to break it up. Jackson goes to the attack now for Edmonton. A long drive, and it deflects high up into the crowd. Well, we talked, Gary, about the master manipulator, Bob Johnson, and how he has juggled his lineup every game. 2 more changes tonight. Tim Hunter and Steve Bozak, who missed Game 6, are back in. Jim Jackson and Neil Sihira.
Now, what happens, John, is that after the game, Bob Johnson and Bob Murdoch, the assistant, they look at tapes of the game, and then they look at what the Oilers were doing well and then make the adjustments for the next game to counteract that. Again, you see Hunter against McDonald. That'll be a matchup. As long as they're playing hockey tonight, you can count on it. That's the matchup Sather's looking for, because McDonald has certainly hurt the Edmonton Oilers in the series.
Gretzky is out there as well. If Curry as Glenn Sather makes some changes. Semenko has been playing on that line. Here's Gretzky with a drive, and it deflects up into the crowd. Dave Newell, the man in charge of tonight's game. 12:15, time remaining in this scoreless first period.
Well, we mentioned being in position for an official. Here you see how close that one came. Dave Newell was to the left of your screen, right on the line. He had a perfect view of it.
Shots on goal, 8-2 in favor of the Oilers. Larry Melnick races back after it. Melnick's on his first playoff action on Friday night. Paul Coffey feeding it over for Semenko, who couldn't control it. Semenko attempted to center it. It bounced off a leg. He gets it again, tries to play it out front, but it's broken up by the Flames. And Bozak goes to the attack. He has Petlinski on the wing. Bozak with a shot to save the rebound, and it's taken to the corner. They tried to feed it back to the line to McInnes. He couldn't get to it in time, and it's dumped in by the Flames. Now Coffey goes rink wide, but it crossed two lines as he hit Jari Kurri. This Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from Northlands Coliseum in Edmonton. Well, Glenn Sather continuing to juggle his lineup. He now has McClellan, Hughes, and Hunter out there against Quinn, McDonald, and Beers. On the last shift, Jari Kurri, Gretzky, and Hunter were out there against this same Calgary attacking unit. Now the Oilers with Hunter shooting it in. 7:23 the time left here in the first period. Low with the drive right on, and it's kicked out by Lemelin, and Beers brings it back. He was looking for Lanny McDonald at the blue line, broken up just in time by Lee Fogeluk. In the neutral zone, McDonald and Lowe bump along the boards. It's shot in. Here's a chance. Hughes with a drive to save the rebound. The puck is loose. Here's a shot by Fogeluk, and he scores!
Goaltender has to have a little help, but you notice that Hughes was charging for the net, collided with Lemelin. Lemelin couldn't regain his position, and Lee Fogeluk scoring his first goal of the playoffs. Look how much time he has. There's traffic in front. The Oilers are going at the net. They're causing a disturbance, and it resulted in a goal for them.
Lee Fogeluk, who is in his 8th Stanley Cup playoff series, his 8th year in the playoffs, getting the goal from Hughes and Hunter. That's only the second time in the 7 games that the Oilers have been on the scoreboard first. Gretzky, now he scores! It's 9-3.
Giveaway by the Calgary Flames, and Wayne Gretzky, something that he has done all year, but for the last 4 games hasn't been able to put that puck over the line. Fires a high wrist shot past Lemelin. We don't see Gretzky risk the puck that many times. It's normally the slap shot. But those giveaways inside your own blue line will really hurt you.
Well, very quickly, the Edmonton Oilers strike to make it 2-0 lead. The goal 20 seconds apart. Lemelin playing it up along the boards for Kerry Wilson, his first shift of the game. Wilson shooting it in. Pocket move to the line for Reinhart. Reinhart unable to keep it in, and the Oilers go to the attack. Led by Willie Lindstrom. He tried to flip it in on the wing for Messier, broken up, and Lou comes out. Drop pass 3, over to Wilson. Wilson shoots, he scores!
An enormous goal by Wilson. The Calgary Flames are down, and all of a sudden that break took place, the 3-on-2. The defense has to break in. Now watch Fogelin. He'll collide with Lowe. Mo can't get his balance, and the puck flies in the net, and the Flames have narrowed it to 1. And right now there's a little bit of concern with Mike Eaves as he was hurt on the play as he slid in the corner. Good drop pass by Hakan Lube, and look at how quickly Eaves sees the open man, which was Wilson. Wilson, I think he fanned on the shot, but it was right on the ice. Mo had collided with Fogelin out of position, and Wilson notches himself a goal.
3 goals within the space of 1 minute. Fogelin from Hughes and Hunter at 9:03. Gretzky from Semenko and Curry at 9:23. And then Wilson from Eaves and Lube at 10:03. A big goal for the Calgary Flames because there was definitely momentum going with the Edmonton Oilers, and the crowd was certainly reacting to those 2 goals just 20 seconds apart. Now it's Bourgeois across the line, shooting it in behind the net, and this crowd as noisy as I've heard it at Northland Coliseum. Patterson deflected it wide of the net. In behind the goal, Kevin Lowe was knocked down. The puck comes up around the board, and finally Gretzky scoops it to center ice. 9:21, the time remaining here in the first period. 2-1, the Oilers in front of the Calgary Flames in this 7th and deciding game of the Smythe Division. Flipped into the corner. Hunter races in there against Jamie McCowan. They fight for it along the board. Hunter comes up with it, tried to play it back to the net. Nobody was in position. McClellan managed to step into Quinn, but now Quinn gets the pass as he breaks up. Stop for Beers, and he fired it wide. Danny McDonald fighting with Hunter along the board. Beers comes in to help out, so does Quinn. Quinn tried to feed it in front. Then it went in behind the goal, and now Gregg tries to get it out. Some good hitting as McDonald and Gregg collide behind the net. Hughes along the boards with McCowan tying it up for a faceoff. Live on CBC, this is Stanley Cup 84. Well, during regular season play, the first period in games between the Oilers and the Flames, the downfall of the Calgary Flames as they lost 7 and tied 1. But in the playoffs, it's been a different story. But Gary, for a moment there, I'm sure many Flames fans were thinking, uh-oh, here we go again.
I think we would all have been very disappointed had the Edmonton Oilers not come out of the box playing the way they're capable of playing.
The puck deflects off his skate to the side of the net. Jackson up along the boards for Willie Lindstrom. He can't get out. Crom tried to center it. It's dumped to the corner. Lindstrom tries again, and finally backhands it high, back into the neutral zone. Pass deflects off the stick, picked up by the Oilers. Randy Gregg in across the line for Lindstrom. Lindstrom, a shot, the save, and the rebound. Cleared to the corner, hit center, and Lemelin down on his knees. Managed to get a pad on it, and it's cleared to center ice. Gregg and Willie Lindstrom almost combining for the 3rd goal. McInnes caught a piece of Ken Lindsman as he was trying to break in. Now a lead pass intended for Patterson, too far. Coffey has to wait for Pozar to get onside. Then his pass at the line picked off by Rydrow. A penalty coming up, a delayed call against the Edmonton Oilers. The Calgary Flames will go on the power play with 7:23 left. Our Stanley Cup playoff action continues in a moment.
Now the Oilers are certainly controlling the play in this first period. They have outshot Calgary 13-4, and now the momentum is slowed down because the penalty to Lindsman again in the offensive end of the ice.
Back to the line for Paul Baxter. Rink wide for Reinhart. He plays it into McDonald. Beers. In the corner, McDonald runs into Kevin Lowe and sends him flying. Messier manages to come up with the puck. He clears it. And we have Fogelin now and Lanny McDonald getting sticks up. And referee Dave Newell whistles the play down in the Edmonton zone. And we've got penalties coming up.
When you're in the 7th game, you give no quarter and you take no quarter. The intensity, the emotion, everything involved will be in this hockey game. Fogelin has the most games of the Edmonton Oilers in playoff competition. He knows what this is all about. But again, we've had contact throughout the series. Why should it stop tonight? McDonald, Fogelin against the boards. and they will both go to the penalty box.
1:46 the time left, and minor penalty to Ken Linsman for a high sticking as Fogelin and Lanny McDonald go off. Roughing against Fogelin, high sticking against McDonald, penalties at 12:51. 2-1 the score in favor of the Edmonton Oilers. Paul Baxter for Reinhart. Reinhart plays it in back of the Edmonton net. Kevin Lowe up along the boards. Messier having problems against Neves. He can't get out. It's fired in wide of the goal. Racing in from the point is Baxter. Baxter tried to play it back. It was intercepted by Gretzky. Gretzky breaks out with Randy Gregg. Gregg in across the line. A shot to save. And the rebound is picked up by Dan Quinn. 1:13 the time remaining in the penalty. Eaves working in on the right side. Still hasn't. And Kevin Lowe pokes it away from him. It goes loose back to the net. Quinn controls it for Calgary to Reinhart. Over to Paul Baxter. Baxter shoots it in back of the goal. Leaves it there for Beard. Beard back to the line for Paul Reinhart to Quinn. Quinn fakes the shot. Tried to feed it across for Eaves, and it was deflected by Gray. Now behind the net, Quinn trying to dig it out for Beard. Back to the line now. Baxter winds up right on. And the save by Andy Moog as the puck is brought up now by Hughes. Hughes with a shot. He fired it wide. Gary Wilson from his own zone for Bozak. Bozak hanging on to it, returning it to Wilson. Wilson with the shot. Puck bounced off the defenseman Jackson. Comes back to the line. McCowan with a drive right on. Wilson was at the side of the net, looking for that rebound. He couldn't quite reach it. Just 3 seconds remaining in the penalty to Linsman. Now the Oilers back at full strength. The puck fired off the boards down the ice. And with Linsman racing in, Lemelin has to play it. Now Hockenlund and across the line, takes the shot. Still has it. Slides it to the side of the net, and Andy Moog pinned it there for the face-off. 5:05 the time left in this opening period. Lee Fogelin, former Oshawa General, drafted from Buffalo in 1979, getting the start for the Edmonton Oilers that was so important in this deciding game. Moving in to grab that loose puck and fire it past Reggie Lemelin. Kept in at the line by Bourgeois. Richard Crom back to the net for Rysbrough. For Patterson. He tries to center it. It bounces to Crom. Crom to Rysbrough. Rysbrough feeding it for Crom. And he couldn't get a stick on it as Willie Lindstrom breaks out. Over on the wing for Messier. This line has been dangerous since put together 2 games ago. Along the boards, they finally force the face-off.
Now Mark Messier has been trying to carry the Edmonton Oilers in the last couple of games. He has 11 points for the series. And that's the guy that you have to slow down. If you give him the blue line, you're in for a lot of trouble. But in Game 6, Bob Johnson made a lineup change. He had Poplinski, Jackson, and Patterson against him, and that line actually outscored Messier by 1-0. Now, Messier's line did score a couple of goals on the power play. So that's the coaching philosophy that Johnson has used throughout the playoffs. Keep making changes, keep putting people in different positions to try to shut down the Oilers.
Of course, in this game, Bob Johnson does not have the luxury of the last change, so he is unable to get some of the matchups in this game that he used so successfully on Good Friday. Poplinski at the line, has it poked away by Willie Lindstrom to Anderson. Anderson trying to go around Conroy, gets the puck, feeds it across, nobody there. Coffey gets it in front, deflected by Willie Lindstrom. It just went wide. Cleared to the line, kept in, penalty coming up. Calgary Flames will be shorthanded as Richard Crom goes off to the penalty box with 3:58 remaining in this first period.
Now Yari Curry's happy to see Crom head for the penalty box because Curry has only managed 1 goal against Crom while he's been on the ice. He has been nullified. It's on the slash. Boy, you have to take a hit. You can't afford to take those retaliatory penalties as Crom did on that play.
Richard Crom, the son of former Detroit Red Wing coach Bobby Crom. And I'm sure that Bobby is looking in tonight in Detroit, watching this action, the 7th and deciding game of the Smythe Division Final. And wherever you're looking in tonight, we hope you enjoy the game. Gretzky with a drive right on, and Lemelin holds it for the faceoff.
Watch Gretzky playing the point, moves to the center of the ice so he gets a better angle. That the Edmonton Oilers just can't get a man in front. And that's the position. Once you see a defenseman getting ready to wind up, or as in the case of Gretzky playing the point, right away you have to fight your way from in front, try to screen the goaltender.
What a power play for the Edmonton Oilers. The 5 players on the ice during the course of regular season play scored 270 goals. Now Randy Gregg
up and forward. You know where he's going to go. He's going to go in front. He'll be tough to move out of there. It's the first time I've ever seen him play on the power play in the forward position.
Anderson had been out there, and then for the face-off, Glenn Sather sent out Randy Gregg.
He must have been watching Eddie Beers in Game 6, the effective job that he was doing.
Messier working to the line, taken out of the play by Jamie McCowan. Rysbrough goes in behind the net along with Gretzky. Puck goes loose. Eaves hammered into the boards by Messier. He's hurt. Eaves is hurt. He was drilled into the boards by Mark Messier. And we're going to have a penalty against the Edmonton Oilers. Eaves was shaken up earlier on the goal by Kerry Wilson, and he was really punished on this one.
Well, again, Eaves can't see anybody coming, and Mark Messier took quite a run at Eaves, and when Messier hits you, he hurts you, as we look at Bearcat Murray, the trainer of the Flames, attending to Mike Eaves, who is in obvious pain, and the Flames can ill afford to lose a player of Mike Eaves' caliber. He's been a strong performer.
At 16:35, the boarding penalty against Mark Messier. Eaves, of course, played for Bob Johnson at the University of Wisconsin. And Johnson, when he discovered that Eaves might be available, asked Cliff Fletcher to try and get him from the Minnesota North Stars, and that he did back on June the 8th. And he has played very well. He has been quite a performer in this playoff series. Trainer Bearcat Murray still treating the injured Mike Eaves. And now there's an altercation involving the Calgary trainer and the fans sitting along the boards. Don't often see that, but Bearcat obviously was annoyed as he attempted to take a swing at the fan who was obviously yelling something at him from behind the glass.
Well, Mike Eaves has gone to the Calgary Flames dressing room, and as soon as we get a medical report, we'll pass it on. But it's been that kind of a series, Don. We've seen a lot of physical contact. Both teams have used the body very well in the corners and the open ice, and a lot of guys have been on the seat of their pants throughout the series.
1:26, the time remaining in the penalty to Richard Crom. Penalty, of course, to Messier, just starting. Coffey in across the line. His shot stopped by Lemelin. Bourgeois moving out slowly from behind his own net. Ahead to Dan Quinn. Quinn shooting it into the corner. Bozak trying to pick it up on the board and scores! Bozak did get to it and flips it past Andy Moe to tie the game at 2.
Well, when Bob Johnson inserted Bozak into the lineup, he did it for one reason: the speed of Bozak. Watch him come down the wing, and it looked like a harmless shot. I believe that hit the stick of Curry and went past Andy Moe. Watch, yes it did, changed direction and went into the net. But by golly, a break for the Calgary Flames, and Steve Bozak, because of his speed, has tied the game.
Quinn and Bourgeois drawing assists. A harmless-looking play as it was dumped in. Bozek went racing in after it, and that all-out hustle and determination paid off for the Calgary Flames. This game is back on even terms. Linsman puts it down into the Calgary zone. Conroy back there after it. He leaves it for Bourgeois. Head to Patterson. To Risebrough. Risebrough for Conroy. He propels it into the Edmonton zone. Coffey is taken into the boards. Now it's fed into the center ice area. Linsman working in for Anderson. Anderson goes back to the net. Has it hooked away. Gets the puck again. It comes back to the line. Fogelin with a shot. He fired it wide. Paul Reinhardt picking it up off the end boards with 2:10 remaining in this first period. The score is tied at 2. A long drive now by Conroy. Lanny McDonald trying to get it off the board. Having some problems there as he's checked by Kevin Lowe. Now it's poked around to the other side as Crom comes out of the penalty box, and it's fired down the ice with 26 seconds remaining in the penalty to Messier. The Calgary Flames on the power play. Jamie McCowan runs into a check from Lee Fogelin. Puck loose in the center ice area, then it's dumped into Edmonton territory, and Hunter comes up with it, and he clears it. Just 7 seconds remaining in the penalty to Messier, and there's a delay penalty call coming up against Eddie Beers of the Calgary Flames.
You know, Beers took a lot of stick in the face against the boards. And he gets a slashing penalty.
So with just 5 seconds remaining in the penalty to Messier, Eddie Beers goes to the penalty box, and 1:30 is the time remaining in this first period with the score tied at 2.
Now both teams have not used very good discipline as far as the penalties they're taking. They have been in neutral ice or in the offensive end of the ice. You keep giving teams power play opportunities, you're going to face off at center ice.
Gretzky, Gregg, Curry, and Coffey are out there for the Oilers. From the draw, it's flipped to the net by Randy Gregg, and Lemelin reacted. And now it's cleared by Calgary as Messier is out there. And the Oilers go to the power play. Led now by Jari Kurri. For Wayne Gretzky, trying to set it up. He moves back to the line, gets it to Randy Gregg. Gregg feeding it into the corner to Messier. Messier having problems there with Jamie McCowan. He's been a tower of strength defensively. Patterson is also in there fighting. McCowan checks Messier, but he gets it back to the line. Gregg for Coffey. Coffey with a drive. It's gloved by Reg Lemelin, and he holds it for the faceoff.
This is a very big penalty killing for the Calgary Flames. They want to shut down the Oilers during this penalty killing situation and go into the dressing room at least tie. Let's watch the draw where Lemelin, a harmless looking shot, had to be very quick to kick that into the corner. You know, you talk about momentum changing from one team to another. And what a lift it would be for the Edmonton Oilers to be able to capitalize on his power play, going in the dressing room again with a 1-0 lead.
Well, Glenn Sather continues to employ Randy Gregg as a forward on the power play. As you said, Gary, trying to get him into position in front of the net to do some screening on Reggie Lemelin. Now here's a chance for the Flames. They break out 3-on-1. Paul Reinhardt, and he had it knocked off his stick by Wayne Gretzky.
How about that for back-checking?
Great back-checking job by number 99. In across the line, drop pass intended for Gretzky, but it was flipped out across the line by Randy Gregg. 23 seconds remaining in the period. Gretzky working to the corner, still controlling as he goes behind the net. Gets it over to Anderson, back to Gretzky, out front! Curry with a great opportunity, and Messier comes in and whacks away at it. Linsman is also in there.
What a setup by number 99, Wayne Gretzky, on the play. And Lemelin, as he has done through the series, come up with a key save. Sliding across. Let's watch it again on the replay. And you'll see Gretzky on the backhand, just slides it through that Lindsman that had that glorious opportunity. And then trying to poke that rebound through the pads. Boy, you know, you talk about the offense of Wayne Gretzky. How about his defense? I mean, he put his head down, came back, and stripped the puck from Paul Reinhardt.
Just 9 seconds remaining in the period. 2-2 the score. Face-off to the left of Lemelin. Risebrough goes into the circle. It comes back to Gretzky. Gretzky moving in, slap shot. And that deflects high up into the crowd with 3 seconds remaining in the period.
If that one is on the net, it's in, because number 27, Dave Semenko, look at the position he picks up. Tough looking past the tree, isn't it? Lemelin, no chance on that one. Deflected into the crowd. So the Oilers are doing to the Flames in tonight's game that the Flames are doing to the Oilers for the past 4 or 5, getting guys in front of the net.
6'3", 210-pound Dave Semenko doing quite a job of screening Reggie Lemelin. And Semenko in the game on Good Friday in Calgary got a goal by being in exactly that position in front of the net.
Now, the Flames are very fortunate to be tied at 2, because the territorial advantage has certainly been with the Edmonton Oilers. They've had 20 shots on net. Lemelin has had to make some spectacular saves and a break on Bozak's goal. And the Flames will be quite happy to go into the period tied at 2.
Just 3 seconds remaining in the period. Lindsman will be attempting to get the draw back to Coffey. From the face-off, it goes to the boards. Then it's centered as the siren sounds to end the first period. The Edmonton Oilers and Calgary Flames all even.
Now, Don, we expected the Edmonton Oilers to come out with a reckless abandon and play the style of hockey that they're familiar with. Skate and go after the puck. They did exactly that. They exploded for a couple of goals. It might have been a rout. It had every indication of that. The Flames, they don't know what the word quit means. They just keep battling back, and that was something.
30 seconds remaining in the penalty to Eddie Beers of the Calgary Flames. So the Flames will start the second period short-handed. The score tied at 2, and in the first period, the Oilers outshot the Flames 20-7. 2 quick goals just 20 seconds apart. It looked as though the Oilers might be off and running, exploding, as many have been waiting for them to do in this entire series. But then the Calgary Flames came back with goals by Wilson and Bozak, and we're all even with the second period about set to begin. Risebrow got it over to Patterson. He lost it. Fed in for Messier. Messier trying to get it back out front to Anderson. It bounces high to Gregg. His shot right on, and the rebound is cleared by McCowan.
Well, the Calgary Flames, they want to kill off the rest of this penalty. And then, Don, they have to put more pressure on the Oilers in their end. They can't continue to give up that many shots and play as much in their end as they did in that first period.
Risebrow fires it in. Then he goes to the bench as they make a change, and Beers steps out of the penalty box. Knocked down at the line by McCowan. Lead pass for Beers. It crossed 2 lines. Beers and Coffey swing away at each other. Play had been whistled down on the outside, and referee Dave Newell is going to assess at least 1 penalty.
And that might be the only one, because Paul Coffey didn't want to have anything to do with it. He used a lot of discipline on the play and just took the punch. And that's what we talk about, discipline and not taking bad penalties. And, you know, you don't mind a punch in the nose if the other guy is going to get a penalty. You see the stick hit the top of the head of Beers, and there's the retaliation. And I believe that's the only penalty that referee Dave Newell is going to call. Eddie Beers, roughing.
So Beers just gets out of the penalty box, and he steps right back in The stick of Paul Coffey came down on the helmet of Eddie Beers, and he was more or less fingered, Gary, for retaliation as much as anything. Roughing the call against Eddie Beers, so the Oilers have their power play unit out there again. We have played just 37 seconds of this second period. Face-off will take place back in the Calgary zone, and the play had been whistled down on an offside pass. It was across two lines.
Well, Taylor has mentioned that many times that guys, you can't retaliate, take those bad penalties. That time the retaliation was by Beers and Coffey. He just skated away from it.
From the face-off, Gretzky plays it back to Coffey. Coffey shoots it in. Around the boards, Conroy unable to get out. Craig with a shot. In front of the net, Semenko screening the goaltender. Back to Craig again, another shot. The save, the rebound, it's fired wide by Curry. With Lemelin out of position.
Never get a better opportunity than what Curry had. But oh boy, was that point open. Everybody was crowded around Lemelin. Calgary running around, not playing the box.
Semenko doing his job of screening goaltender Reggie Lemelin. Gretzky back to the point for Coffey. For Curry, he scores!
If you don't succeed the first time, try it again. Watch the pass, and Curry, the secret to this is releasing it as soon as it hits his net. And that's a tough pass to control. Coming from the left point, Lemelin never even had position. It was mine before he had a chance to move. Good setup to Paul Coffey.
Well, Yari Curry certainly redeemed himself after missing an open net just seconds earlier. Coffey and Gretzky drawing assists. The goal coming at 1:15. And it's 3-2. The Oilers in front. In the corner now. Flames trying to get out of there as Anderson steps into Crom. Jumped into the neutral zone and it slides back into Edmonton territory. Vogelin is back there. Vogelin up along the boards. Anderson unable to get out against the checking of Tim Hunter. It goes loose to Rysbrough. Back to the line. Baxter winds up. A shot right on, and we've got a wrestling match taking place in the corner involving Tim Hunter, and I'm not quite sure who that is underneath him. It could be Lee Vogelin, or is it Kevin Lowe? Kevin Lowe and Tim Hunter wrestling in the corner. We've got penalties coming up with 18:13 left in the second.
Kevin Lowe escorted to the penalty box along with Hunter. They both will receive 2 minutes for roughing. Happened to the left of goaltender Andy Moog. They have a look at it as the players come together, and down the ice they go. Well, both teams will play a man short. This is a situation that the Oilers are normally very good. 4-on-4. They have the speed up front.
Well, we're informed that Mike Eaves, who was injured late in the first period, should be returning shortly. He had a number of stitches taken in the forehead, but he should be able to continue the game, is the word we get from downstairs. Paul Baxter. Back pass for Reinhart. He returns it to Baxter up in the wing for McDonald. He has Quinn with him. McDonald trying to split the defense. He's knocked down by Coffey. The puck slides to the corner. Now it's the Oilers to the attack. 3-on-2, led by Coffey. Coffey for Messier. Messier trying to cut for the goal. He was taken out of the play by Reinhart. The puck is loose. Picked up by the Edmonton Oilers. Anderson. He tried to center it. It went off a leg, and Reinhart cuts out at the side of his own net, then drops it off for Baxter. Baxter tried to get around Gregg. The Edmonton defenseman broke that up. He was looking for Yari Curry, too far for him. Reinhart for Baxter. Up on the right side, too far for McDonald. And going back after it is Don Jackson. 1 minute remaining in the penalties to Tim Hunter and Kevin Lowe. Gary Curry with a drive. The pass saved by Lemelin. And Bozak takes it to safety back of the net. Now ahead to Conroy. He tries to feed it ahead. Stolen by Gretzky. Gretzky going in. And Lemelin came out of the net. He lost his stick in the process, but managed to deflect it. Great chance for Gretzky. It's offside of the line.
Lost it or threw it. That's what everybody's hollering about. But what a burst of speed by number 99, Wayne Gretzky. He has the bounce tonight. No question about that. Watch Gretzky just come in from behind, steal it, and away he goes. To the forehand. I don't know. Here's a better angle of it from behind the net as Gretzky makes the move. All he had to do is get it upstairs. He's hooked from behind slightly. Maybe that may have taken the concentration away from Gretzky. But that shows you the opportunist that Wayne is. Never safe when he's around.
Well, he has been foiled a couple of times on breakaway opportunities now by Reggie Lemelin. On Friday night, he found himself standing all alone in front of Lemelin and was unable to put it past him. Just 20 seconds remaining in the penalties to Tim Hunter and Kevin Lowe. 16:29 the time left in the period. Gretzky getting it back to the line for Coffey. In the corner to Curry. He was tied up by Risebrough. And the Flames start out. Good check as Randy Gleich steps into Conroy. Gretzky in across the line trying to feed Curry. He was tied up. The fans reacting, thinking there should have been a penalty. Bourgeois now starts out. The penalized players back on the ice. Tim Hunter shoots it in. It's knocked down by Coffey. And Tim Hunter was upset on the check. Here's Lindsman breaking in. A shot to save. And Patterson dumps it to center ice. Paul Coffey is spun around. The loose puck picked up by Risebrough. Risebrough's shot goes off Fogelin, and Lindsman picks it up for the Oilers. Lindsman to Fogelin. He fires it deep. Going to the corner after it. Bozak, he's knocked off the puck, but Jamie McCowan picks it up. For Reinhart. Reinhart across the line. He has it poked away. And it's dumped into the center ice area for Hunter. Drops it for Lindsman. Lindsman with Hughes. The shot by Lindsman, and Hughes couldn't get a stick on the rebound. He had a wide open net had he been able to reach that puck. Now it's stolen by Hughes. And Hughes beats it back out front. And it's picked off by Reinhart. He starts back. Reinhart for Hawk and Lou. Lou tries to drop it for Bozak. And it's picked off by Hunter. Hunter feeds it in for McLeod, for Messier, now back to Hunter. Hunter took a shot and it hit the side of the net. Back to the line for Coffey. His shot is blocked. And Hakanlu brings it out to center ice. Some great scoring opportunities here in the second for the Edmonton Oilers. Reinhart working against Coffey. Drops it for Kerry Wilson. The puck bounces high. Lanny McDonald gets it. Working back to the line. Having difficulty there, he's forced into the neutral zone. His pass to an open wing, picked off by Messier. Messier moving right in, the save by Lemelin. Messier slides into the goalpost, and Lemelin falls on top of him. Tremendous action here in the second period. The Oilers going all out. They lead by a score of 3-2. The fans reacting with every move.
Well, the Flames have not had a shot in this second period, and we're seeing the Oilers at their very best. Flames, they just can't stay up to them. They can't keep up to the pace that the Oilers are going.
And I haven't heard a crowd in the Northlands Coliseum with as much sustained noise as we are getting tonight. Gretzky in across the line. He has it poked away by Paul Baxter. Baxter working against Kevin Lowe. Lowe steals it from him into the center ice area. A 2-on-1. Gretzky with Kozar. He tried to feed it back to Kozar. He was tied up by Eddie Beers. Lanny McDonald dumps it ahead to Kerry Wilson. Wilson fakes the shot. Still has it. Wilson circling, getting it over to Crom. Crom back to Wilson. A shot. The save. They score! On the rebound, Conroy put it in.
That'll quiet the crowd in a hurry. The Calgary Flames have not had many scoring chances, but the ones they have had they ever capitalized? pinpoint passing as the Flames get a break on a shot by Wilson, and McDonald heads up, sees Conroy to the left of Moog and just slides it over to him, and we're tied. It's amazing how one team can dominate the game the way the Oilers have, and the Flames are tied and score at 3.
Andy Moog is coming to the bench, and Grant Fuhr is going in. Glenn Sather has decided to make a goaltending change. It was incredible, the action around that Calgary net, as the Oilers did everything but add to their 3-2 advantage, and then on their really first good scoring opportunity, the Flames managed to tie it. Tonight's game is coming to you from Northlands Coliseum in Edmonton. Shots on goal, 28-8 in favor of the Edmonton Oilers. And Coach Glenn Sather, after Andy Moog, the starter tonight, relinquished that third goal, has decided to replace Moog with Grant Fuhr.
Now there's the goal scorer, Steve Conroy, his first in the playoffs, but a good play by Crom to start it all off. So there was traffic in front, he elected to pass, and the Flames really caught a break when Kerry Wilson's shot will drop straight down, and McDonald will pick it up. Now, McDonald has the presence to look for somebody to pass to, and he's got Conroy all in front, and he makes no mistake. Puts it in the net. We're tied at 3. Almost 7 minutes. And the first shot for the Calgary Flames. They've been playing the whole period, in fact, almost the whole game in their own end of the ice, and they're still in this game. That's amazing.
Grant Fuhr, the native of Spruce Grove, Alberta, a first-round pick in 1981. And Glenn Sather has decided to insert with 13-17 remaining here in the second period. Fuhr had started the previous 9 playoff games for the Edmonton Oilers. Tonight's game was the first starting assignment for Andy Moog.
Well, it just quieted the crowd temporarily because they are in a high right now, trying to get this Oiler in the groove again, and who started applying the pressure back in the Calgary end of the ice. Don, I haven't seen the Oilers skate like this all year. I mean, they are motoring every single line.
Well, they certainly haven't skated like that during the playoffs, at least in this series, against the Calgary Flames. Jackson goes back. He's pinned in against the boards by Patterson. Anderson also comes in, and there'll be a face-off to the left of Grant Fuhr. 3-3 the score. Glenn Anderson, just 3 goals so far in the playoffs. He has had some problems, but the combination of Anderson, Messier, and Willie Lindstrom in the previous 2 games, the best attacking unit for the Oilers. On the face-off, a loose puck finally picked up by the Oilers. They break up. And across the line, a flip shot. Lindstrom was trying to get into position in front of the net. He was tied up, and the Flames come back. Off the boards, it's dumped in by Bozak. Pass into the center ice area, too far for Clevin McClelland, and as Flames Charlie Bourgeois goes back to touch it, it's an icing call against Edmonton.
I don't think they expected Charlie Bourgeois to make the Calgary Hockey Club. You know, he had his ups and downs with the team, really didn't handle the puck that well or skate with it that well, but he has done omen duty in the playoffs, and in fact, he's been the only guy that has really challenged Dave Semenko. And Don, we talked about that and felt that really turned the Flames around, that somebody would stand up to Semenko and give account of himself.
Out of the University of Moncton, one of 6 free agents in the uniform of the Calgary Flames tonight. Vogelin behind his goal to Kevin Lowe. Up to Lindsman, a neat move at his own line. He was looking for Pat Hughes. The pass was picked up and fired back in. The Oilers will try it again. Pass intended for Hughes, again picked off by Eddie Beers, and it's fired back in by the Flames. The Oilers looking for that long lead pass, Gary, into the center ice area, and of course they have the great speed. They can certainly break out of there quickly.
And the Flames are playing very conservative. They're not even sending 2 men in there. I don't think that they can win that way. I really believe they have to go at Edmonton and force the turnovers in their own end. That's the way they won game 5 and 6.
Paul Baxter is hurt. Baxter is down in the Calgary zone. On the replay, we'll see what happened.
I didn't catch the player from behind that gave it to Baxter. It was Hughes. We've been informed, and caught him with a high stick. Here, this will give you a better look at it. That's the series, the way it's been all series, though, Don. The sticks have been up, and we've had some cheap shots by both teams.
So with 11:52 remaining, we have a timeout. Well, Paul Baxter was up, and he was able to skate off to the Calgary bench. Fortunately for Baxter and the Calgary Flames, he was not seriously injured. Bourgeois dumping it in on the right side. Going back after it is Coffey. 11:44 the time left here in the second period. Up on the right side. Willie Lindstrom is taken out of the play. The puck goes to Coffey. He was spun around, but it's whistled down on the offside. Now we have Coffey getting his stick up against Bourgeois, and another match involving Anderson and Patterson in front of the net. They did a little shoving, but nothing serious is going to develop.
Well, the Flames are not getting the matchups that they want, and Don, if they want the matchups that Johnson is looking for, they're going to have to change on the fly. And the only time to do that, of course, is when the puck is going over center ice into the Edmonton end of the ice. Because what Johnson had talked about, he wanted Rysbrough against Gretzky, Poplinski against Messier. And those combinations have really not materialized to any great extent.
Gretzky now out there with Semenko and Curry. Poplinski, Bozak, and Lube, the combination.
I'd hate to be Lube if Semenko hit me. There might not be anything left of him.
Well, in game 6, they had Neil Sheehy playing that wing against Semenko. It's McCallum breaking in. His shot is fired wide. Curry bangs it along the boards and down the ice, racing back after it. And touching it is Paul Baxter. That produces an icing call.
Well, for the third consecutive game, Reggie Lemelin gets the start in nets, and he has been quite a factor for the Calgary Flames as he's made the saves when he's had to make them. I guess it's a little disappointing for goaltender Don Edwards, who has played well, won the final game in Vancouver, and won a 6-5 overtime game here, but Johnson has elected to not rotate any longer and go with Lemelin.
Gary Wilson in the face-off circle against Mark Messier. Harry Curry had moved in there a little quickly. Now it's Randy Gray playing it around the boards for Coffey, kept in at the point by Reinhart. Messier will try and get it out of there. He's checked. Conroy kept it in. Ranfure clears it to the corner. Reinhart tossing along the boards. Kick free to Eddie Beard. The backhand shot just goes wide. Conroy fakes the shot to Beard. Beard trying to center it. Gets it again. Takes the shot. It's knocked down and brought up now by Curry. Across the line. Having difficulty controlling it. Broken up by Conroy, and it's cleared with 10:40 remaining here in the second period. The score tied at 3 as Gray touches it. Icing call against Calgary.
We haven't seen much of Al McGinnis since the middle of the first period. Normally it's Reinhart, McGinnis, the combination that Johnson has used, but now Reinhart is paired up with Conroy.
Well, it's been a tremendously hard-hitting series from game 1 through game 7, and the survivor will certainly be feeling the effects of this one. Moving on into the next round, beginning on Tuesday. McInnes in the dressing room having an injured thumb treated. We're informed that it's expected he will return. Back to the line for Kevin Lowe. Lowe runs into a check. And the loose puck is brought out by Richard Crom with Patterson. They tried a crossing maneuver. It was broken up by Lumley. Lumley gets it ahead for Linsman. Linsman at the line, trying to feed it across. There's nobody there. And Patterson clears it to center ice. Fired in again by the Oilers. Lemelin stops it behind the net for Bourgeois. He gets it ahead to Jamie McCowan to Richard Crom. Crom dumps it in, and the Flames make a change. A penalty is coming up. Play whistled down by referee Dave Newell with the score. Calgary 3, Edmonton 3. More Stanley Cup excitement after this message.
Well, we haven't seen very many intelligent penalties tonight. You're going to see another bad one by Ken Linsman as he tries to help Rysville into the players' bench. The call is interference, and the Flames will go on the power play.
9:57 the time remaining in the second period. Reinhardt trying to set things up back at the point. Back to McInnes. A shot, he scores! McInnes returned from the dressing room just in time as he puts the Flames in front 4-3.
Well, the combination of McInnes and Reinhardt have really hurt the Edmonton Oilers. Now, they were playing closer to the two defensemen so they wouldn't unload that shot. But Gretzky gave them a little bit too much time to unload that wicked slap shot, and watch what happens. And there really isn't anybody in front of the net. Grant Fuhrer just blew that shot. He's deep in his net. Normally he's out challenging. So McInnes gets his first goal of the playoffs. Second goal of the playoffs.
He had a goal in the series against the Vancouver Canucks, his first against the Edmonton Oilers. Quinn and Reinhardt drawing assists. And for the first time, the Calgary Flames have the lead. A power play goal. McDonald unable to get it out. He's shot on the deflection by Hughes. It just went wide. Another drive, this time by Hunter, and it sailed wide. Going into the corner after it is Baxter. Baxter having difficulties getting out of there. A shot to save. Loose puck in front of the net, and it's slipped over top of the goal by McClellan. Baxter collides with Hunter. McClellan comes up with the puck. Baxter tossing a shot, and it is deflected off the glass. Finally, it's brought out by Kerry Wilson. Wilson right wide for Lanny McDonald, trying to get around Coffey. The Edmonton defenseman was able to clear it. Drop pass for Hughes. Hughes for Randy Gregg. Right to Messier. A shot, and it's deflected over the glass and out of play. 8:48 is the time remaining in the second period. 31-10, the shots on goal favoring the Oilers, but the Flames lead at 4-3.
You don't get the goaltending. And that's been the difference in this game. Lemelin is making all the saves, and the Oilers are not getting the goaltending from Moog, and then that long shot that got by Fuhrer.
Conroy takes it back at his own net. Dumps it off the boards to center ice. Anderson leaves it there for Messier. Messier had it hooked away. And Kuklinski shoots it into Edmonton territory. Fans extremely noisy. Late in the first, early in the second, when the Oilers were applying all sorts of pressure. But that go-ahead goal by McInnes has quieted them somewhat. Messier trying to pick it up off the end board. Conroy did a good job of tying him out. And back come the Flames. 3-on-2. Drop pass for Bozak. Sliding it to the goal mouth, and Fuhrer with Kuklinski standing there. Slides out of his net to grab it. Kuklinski was looking for the rebound.
That was an excellent play by Kevin Lowe just to keep control of Kuklinski. After he had passed off to the winger, his job is to go right for that net, look for the deflection or the possibility of a rebound. What the Flames are trying to do is work a 2-on-1 against Fogelin. Now watch Kuklinski and the good job that Lowe does. He's got him corralled pretty good. Allows Grant Fuhrer to cover up.
Kuklinski is another of those Calgary players who struggled in the last part of the season. Came alive in the playoffs. He has 7 points in the playoffs. And they need production from the big guy if they're going to have any success. That's what Coach Bob Johnson said. And, of course, Poplinski has been one of the key figures in the success that the Flames have had in this Smythe Division Final. A series very few people would have predicted would go to 7 games.
I guess if you're going to have a slump, do it during the regular season, not playoff time.
Risebrough, the draw back to McCowan. His shot through traffic steered to the corner by Grant Fuhr. Ron Jackson moving out. Ahead to Messier. Messier is tied up. It's fired in deep. Lemelin steered it to the corner, and Jamie McCowan goes rink wide for Colin Patterson. Ahead to Risebrough. Back to Patterson. He was looking for Crom. However, Dave Semenko got back there first. Up along the boards, kept in by Risebrough. His shot reflects off Jackson. And where is it? 7:30 is the time remaining in the second, live on CBC. This is Stanley Cup 84. Battle of Alberta, Calgary against Edmonton. At the moment, the Flames enjoying a 1-goal advantage. Back to the line now. Conroy with a shot. It goes wide. Behind the net goes Lanny McDonald. Trying to get it out front, looking for Eddie Beers. Beers was tied up, and it's clear. Now from his own blue line, Kevin Lowe moving out slowly, firing it into Calgary territory. Conroy circles to get away from McClellan, decides to go to the other side, gets the puck back again. Good forechecking by the Oilers, but now the Flames come out. Eddie Beers can't go anywhere with it. Conroy following up on the play, hooks it into Edmonton territory. Dumped off the boards for Pat Hughes. He fires it into the Calgary zone, goes to the bench as the Oilers make a change. Gary Wilson, long lead pass for McDonald. Apparently he touched it and crossed 2 lines. This program is copyrighted and is strictly for the private use of our audience. Any reproduction, retransmission, distribution, or exhibition, in whole or in part, without the express consent of the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation is strictly prohibited. 6:37, the time left in the second period. 31-12, the shots on goal in favor of the Edmonton Oilers.
Flames are still waiting. They're just playing cat and mouse. They're not really applying pressure in the end of the Edmonton ice.
Now Mark Messier and Jim Poplinski in the center ice area. And Poplinski did not drop his gloves. Messier's gloves went flying. He was flailing away at Poplinski, and he'll be getting a penalty.
They see McCowan talking with Jim Poplinski, who will get a roughing penalty, as does Mark Messier. Let's see if we can pick it up the way it started. Just over the blue line. Both players come together and go to the penalty box. Just to finish the thought, Don, that I was making, the Flames are just sitting back. They're not even trying to forecheck the Edmonton Oilers, waiting for the Oilers to open up. And when they open up, they become vulnerable for that 3-on-2 or 2-on-1, and that's what the Flames would like to do, is capitalize in that situation.
Glenn Anderson working it across the line, upset by Jamie McCowan. Lanny McDonald lead pass that Quinn couldn't handle at center ice. Pass picked off by Jamie McCowan. Gretzky takes it away from him and across the line. Anderson, we score! In his forechecking. The Calgary Flames had possession, or looked like they had possession right against the boards. But look at that neat little pass that Gretzky makes. Lemelin is out to challenge, but Anderson beats him on the short side. Now he who hesitates will suffer the consequences, and McCowan, just outside his blue line, got stripped of the puck, and the Oilers tie it. Anderson's forced from Gretzky. Here's Patterson right in front as he was set up, and Grant Fuhr stood his ground. Gretzky drawing the assist on the goal at 13:50. Anderson spun around at the blue line by Rysbrough, but the Oilers carry on. Gretzky trying to set something up, feeding it in at the side of the goal. Now coming back to help out Rysbrough, and he feeds it rink wide for Conroy. Conroy back to Rysbrough, backhand shot, and the save by Buell. To the attack goes Gretzky. Wheeling out of his own zone for Pat Hughes, cutting in on the right wing. Hughes got by Lemelin, couldn't control it. Lemelin has lost his stick. In behind the net, this is Lindsman trying to jam it in. They scored! Worked out from behind the net and was able to jam it past him. And then the altercation started in front of that Calgary net.
Well, you think it's easy to play goaltender? Watch the traffic in front. The Oilers are just charging at that net. We don't know if Lemelin does gain possession. It looks like he has it, and all of a sudden it slips by him, and the Oilers have taken the lead. You have to give the marks to Lindsman. He was very persistent. He kept banging away, and finally went over the line, and the Oilers are now out front 5-4, and there's going to be penalties.
Well, the Oilers striking quickly here in the second period to take the lead. Anderson ties the score at 4. And Lindsman has moved them in front.
And here's another good look at it as the Oilers, they just come crashing in there. And it was, I believe, Reinhart that skated away from Lindsman. That allowed Lindsman to come out in front. You have to stop, take your man. Lindsman should never have been able to come out in front.
Lindsman from Hughes and Lowe. Well, on this Easter Sunday, the fans here at the Northland Coliseum might lead the league in standing ovations. They are up and standing, applauding the goal by Ken Lindsman, and the penalties are now being assessed. And Lindsman, the hero for the moment with the go-ahead goal in the penalty box, and he's being joined in that penalty box by Kevin Lowe, and going off with the Calgary Flames, Doug Rysbrough, along with Colin Patterson.
I don't think the fans realized that it was a goal because the scoreboard had not changed until they announced it. And then once the 5 went up for the Oilers, then everybody responded. There was some question whether the goal, as far as the fans were concerned, would count.
Referee Dave Newell explaining the penalty situation to Wayne Gretzky. Rysbrough, Patterson, Lowe, and Lindsman all brought to roughing penalty.
And to number 11, Colin Patterson. To the Oilers, number 4, Kevin Lowe, and number 13, Ken Lindsman, each 2 minutes for roughing. The time, 14 minutes, 48 seconds.
So Kenny Lindsman gets the go-ahead goal and then has a little rest in the penalty box.
Rysbrough and Patterson. And to the Oilers,
Well,
Lowe
the
and
persistence
Lindsman,
of Ken Lindsman paid off as he was able to jam it past Reggie Lemelin, who was playing without his stick. Apparently still some discussion as to the penalties. Wayne Gretzky, the Oiler captain, spoke with Dave Newell, and He went over to the timekeeper's bench. 5:12 is the time left to play here in the second period. The Oilers in front 5-4, and this crowd comes alive again.
Unbelievable. Here's the guy that will try to get the bench going, try to motivate the players.
Gretzky breaking in, tried to feed it back, and it was picked off by Kerry Wilson. Or Jamie McCowan. McCowan working against Coffey, trying to get around him. Two of them go into the corner, still fighting for that puck. Kerry Wilson is also in there along with Gretzky, and Gretzky comes up with it. Here's a 2-on-1 break for the Edmonton Oilers. Over to Fogelin. Fogelin! The shot was saved by Lemelin. Fogelin coming dangerously close to getting his second goal of this game. Set up perfectly by Gretzky. For the attack again. This time it's Glenn Anderson. He had it poked away, and the Flames come back. Bozak trying to get around Coffey. Coffey tied him up, and Randy Gregg starts out. In the center ice area, Bozak is upset. A good check there by Anderson as he goes to the bench. Now it's fired in. Going back after it is Reinhart. Reinhart to the line, trying to carry on. He's tied up, and Curry gets the loose puck to Jackson. Jackson, just in time, was able to poke it away from Paul Baxter. Now it's Curry. In across the line. Curry with a shot. It deflects off a stick off the end glass. And Paul Reinhart comes back for Calgary. Rink wide pass for Hakanlu. Lou at the line. Flipped it back for Baxter. He has to wait for Reinhart to get onside. Plays it off the boards, but it's picked off by Jackson. Jackson in across the line with Gretzky. Gretzky gets away from Lou, feeds it back to Fogelin. Hit shot right on. Gretzky the rebound. Controlling it at the circle. Now he cuts in front. And it slides to the goal mouth as Reinhart slid it to Lemelin, and he was able to hold on.
Well, we've been waiting for Wayne Gretzky to put on a show, and he certainly picked the time to do it in the seventh game. He's got the bounce, he's got the moves, he's doing everything. Watch him now on the rebound. He'll just come in there, take over, look for somebody to pass to. Nobody, spin around.
Always a dangerous move when one of your players is sliding the puck back to the goaltender, but Reinhart really didn't have much choice, and he gave it to Lemelin, who was able to cover up. 38-13 now, the shots on goal in favor of the Edmonton Oilers. They lead 5-4. The go-ahead goal by Ken Lindsman.
Paul Reinhart has been quite a competitor in this series and really has outplayed Paul Coffey offensively and defensively. Well, you know one thing, Don, that the Flames should have plenty left in the third period because all they've been doing is chasing. It's been the Oilers' speed that has dominated this hockey game. They can get out of this period only one down and then really go to the attack in the third period.
Polinsky gets the draw to Conroy. Lead pass intended for Cron, too far. Randy Gregg takes over for Edmonton. Ahead for Messier. He took a hit there from Conroy. Conroy brings it back, trying to center it. It goes off the skate through the corner. Bourgeois races in and runs in against Messier, but Paul Coffey breaks out. Now Coffey circles in the center ice area with 2:40 the time remaining. Lead pass on the wing for Lindstrom. He was offside.
Willie Lindstrom got a new lease on life as he was taken from the fourth line and placed with Anderson and Messier. Responded with goals. And Lumley had been playing on that line, and this gave him a little more speed on the line. That's what Glenn Sather was looking for, offense on a couple of combinations. And the guy that has been stymied throughout the series by the checking of Crom is Jari Kurri. Kurri has got a goal in tonight's contest, though.
2:40 the time left in the second period. 12 seconds remaining in the penalties to Ken Lindsman and Colin Patterson. On the face-off, Baxter He's back into his own zone. Ahead to Beers. Beers couldn't go anywhere with it against some good forechecking by Curry. The penalized players now back onto the ice. And going back to his own line, trying to get things organized, is Perry Wilson. Head ahead for Beers, too far. Lowe is forced in behind his own goal by Wilson. Loose puck in the corner, it's picked up by Curry. He plays it back to Fogelin. Perry Wilson now doing some good forechecking along with Lanny McDonald. Finally, it's fed ahead. Here's Curry breaking in. Curry scores!
The responsibility of a player is to get in the opening, get behind the defense. What a play Curry makes, and Linsman hits him with a perfect pass, and the Oilers have grabbed a 2-goal lead. Look at that, the head up, look, fire it high. The tendency on Lemelin is he goes down before the shot is released. So the Oilers are talking about, we got to shoot high against Lemelin when we're in close. Curry did it very well, right to the top corner.
Number 13,
Linsman and Lowe drawing the assist at the 18-minute mark. 1:52, the time remaining in the second. It's now 6-4. The Oilers in front. They had a 2-goal lead in the first period. The Flames fought back. Can the Flames fight back again? They have been badly outplayed. 39-13 now, the shots on goal. Here's a chance with Rysbrough and across the line. Waiting for some teammates to catch up, decides to shoot it, and Fuhr makes the save. A delayed penalty call against the Edmonton Oilers. So with 1 minute and 36 seconds remaining in this second, the Calgary Flames will go to the power play, and Gary, maybe a chance to get back in this game.
Well, they have to. They have to start applying the pressure. They have not spent much time in the Edmonton end of the ice. Hughes goes to the penalty box on the cross check. We're going to get a look at it right here as he comes in with a stick high and draws the penalty. So again, the Edmonton Oilers with a 2-goal lead. They allow the Flames to get back in it because of a bad penalty.
Gretzky is coming out there along with Jackson. Messier is going to stay out there as well. Don Jackson played collegiate hockey at the University of Notre Dame, a native of Minneapolis. He was acquired from the North Stars for Don Murdoch. He has been used somewhat sparingly. Basically, Fogelin, Lowe, Gregg, and Coffey have been back on the blue line for the Edmonton Oilers. The Flames moving it around, trying to feed it in for Quinn. He was working to the slot. He lost his balance, and it's dumped down the ice by the Oilers. Reinhart brings it in. Reinhart on the wing for Quinn. Drop pass for Lanny McDonald, back to Quinn. Quinn behind the net, takes the check from Jackson. Gretzky finds an opening and clears it.
Well, the Oilers have been very aggressive, and time again, they have handed out the harder checks of the game tonight. The result has knocked the Flames off the puck on quite a few occasions.
McDonald having difficulty controlling it. It's in the corner. It's behind the net now with Quinn. Quinn back to the line. McInnes fakes the shot. Gets it to Quinn. To the other point. The pass intercepted by Curry. Curry trying to get around McInnes. He fell, but hooked it into the Calgary zone with 34 seconds remaining in the period. Reinhart, big wide pass for McDonald. He had difficulty controlling it, and the Oilers clear it again.
They have to make that good pass coming out of your own end, start together, come up the ice as a unit.
Time for one last rush, perhaps, as Bozak works in behind the net, trying to feed it out front. pinned against the boards by Fogelin. He gets it again, tries to move into the slot, and it's brought out by Kenny Linsman. Linsman against McInnes. He won't get a shot away as the siren sounds to end the second period.
Right now, the Oilers are leading, and I think one of the main reasons is the crowd support. They were down 4-3. The crowd didn't get on them. In fact, they got louder, offering that encouragement. It makes a difference when you have the crowd behind you. It inspires the team. Oilers 4.
And disappointed Andy Moog. He got his first playoff start tonight, but then was lifted after allowing 3 goals in favor of Grant Fuhr. There was a lot of speculation as to who Glenn Sather would start in Game 6 after Andy Moog came in at the midway point in Game 5, replacing Grant Fuhr. Many thought that he would go with Andy Moog in Game 6, come back with Fuhr in Game 7. He did just the opposite, but now he has gone back to Grant Fuhr. Mears trying to fire it in. It's broken up at the line by Messier, and he dumps it down the ice. Paul Reinhart back at his own goal for Lanny McDonald. He's forced to flip it rink wide against Wayne Gretzky. The return pass hits the linesman. It's fired in, and the players whistle down.
Well, I'm sure that the Edmonton Oilers learned a valuable lesson as we're looking at Paul Coffey, who is always instrumental in the offensive formation of the Oilers, is that you just can't sit back and try to protect the lead. And I would be very surprised if the Oilers try to sit on this 2-goal lead. They got the 6 goals because they went after the Flames, caused the giveaways, and capitalized. And so that's what they have to do in this third period.
Ken Linsman with the go-ahead goal, and then feeding a perfect pass to Yari Curry for the 6th goal of the game. Edmonton outscoring Calgary 4-2 in that second period. They outshot the Flames 19-7 after registering 20 shots against just 7 in the first period. Hunter pokes it to Hughes as he steps out of the penalty box. Hughes cutting for the goal. He scores!
His first goal of the playoffs. What a quick burst of speed. You notice the Flames stick checking. You can't do that. You can't stop anybody with a check, with a stick. You have to take them physically. And Hughes wards off and slides it right through the 5-hole. Pat Hughes in Game 6 was suffering from the flu. Certainly no indications of that tonight.
Wow, what an alert play as he stepped out of the penalty box. Took that pass, and it's now 7-4. The Oilers leading the Calgary Flames. Semenko coming out of his own zone ahead to Gretzky. Gretzky with a long shot off the glass. Curry trying to pick it up along the boards. Kupinski is also there. Gretzky in back of the net trying to get it away from Kupinski. He can't. Bourgeois having some problems moving out. Persistent forechecking here on the part of the Oilers. Finally, they get it ahead to Bozak. Bozak working in across the line. He plays it around the boards to Hunter. Hunter had difficulty controlling it. Curry got it to Gretzky, but he couldn't pick up the pass. Deflected in by Bozak, going back into the corner after it is low. He drops it off the boards for his defensive partner Fogelin. Now ahead to Anderson, Willie Lindstrom, and Messier out there, and Curry also, and he was offside. From Northland Coliseum in Edmonton, this is Stanley Cup 84 on CBC. Play just underway as the Oilers go back into their own zone. Coffey flips it high. Jamie McCowan races back after it. Cleared into the center ice area. As we approach the 2-minute mark of this second period, 7-4. The Oilers now leading in this 7th and deciding game in the Spice Division Final. Cowan working out on the wing. Gets it ahead to Risebrough. Risebrough with Crom. Good checking by McClellan as he ties up the Calgary center. Now Crom brings it in. And just as he crosses the line, it's poked away. McClellan with a drive. He fired it wide. as Lemelin had come well out of the net to cut down the angle. Now Fogelin lays it in off Hunter. Going back at the goal, Reinhardt. Reinhardt gets it ahead to Lube. Lube's pass into the center ice area. Too far for Bozak. It's fired back in by Fogelin, but two players have not cleared the offensive zone.
Well, the Edmonton Oilers are always on the attack. They have the wingers in full flight. That's the reason they're doing that good job of forechecking. The only way to counteract that is to try to cause some interference on the Oiler wingers. Slow them down to give your defense a chance to come up with a puck, get turned around, and then go offensively. When the Oilers are skating the way they are, it's going to be very difficult for Bob Johnson to gain some control of it because they don't have the puck. The Oilers own the puck tonight.
Wilson against Messier. Trying to get it back to the point to Conroy, but Hughes flipped it down the ice. Lemelin out of his net and played around the boards as Lindsman was racing down there. Now the Flames start out. However, Wilson has it hooked away by Lindsman. He backhands it into Calgary territory. And again, Lemelin is forced to go back to the goal to play it. The Oilers swarming all over the Calgary Flames, really giving them no chance to organize an attack.
Don, it's very difficult to play when your face is up against the glass all night.
Reinhardt along the boards. He's forced back by Hunter. Lowe keeps it in at the line for Lindsman. Lindsman started to wind up and then had it hooked away by Conroy. It goes back to the net. The Oilers keeping that puck in the Calgary zone, applying tremendous pressure, leading by 3 goals. Finally, Terry Wilson breaks out. Wilson in across the line. Can't do anything with it, and he flips it in back of the net as the Flames make a change. Curry trying to hit Gretzky, who is in full flight. Semenko following up in the play. Henderson knocked it in back of the goal. A loose puck in that Calgary zone. Finally, McCowan gains control. For Beers to Dan Quinn. It goes off his stick, and it's cleared again by Randy Gregg. Again, the Oilers, or the Flames try it, this time with Quinn. Quinn feeding it across, and it's intercepted. Back to the line. McDonald trying to keep it in against Coffey. It goes to Beers. Beers trying to get it back to McDonald. It slides to the goal mouth, and Coffey cleared it. Jamie McCowan going back to the net. As the Flames now are applying some pressure, but it's jumped back to the neutral zone. Coffey picks off a pass, gets it over to Gretzky. Drop pass for Curry, and sliding back was Lanny McDonald. Lanny McDonald blocked that shot. Now McDonald in the center ice area is dumped by Curry. Fogelin with a long drive off the puck. Racing in is Messier. He falls in the corner, and Poplinski dumps it up along the board. In the center ice area, Willie Lindstrom is back for Kevin Lowe. Over to Fogelin, a long drive. The Oilers working harder, Gary, I think, than they have at any time in this series. Hunter runs into a check as he tries to center it. Crom then bucked with Lowe. Crom feeds it out front, and it's picked off by Messier. He starts back with Willie Lindstrom. Some good hitting by both teams, but I would think the heavier check being delivered by the Oilers. Bourgeois circling, trying to get away from Anderson. The Oilers all over the Flames at this point in the third period as they lead 7-4. Anderson coming back into his own zone, dropping along the boards, picked off by Risebrough. He tried to feed it in front, but there were 3 Oilers coming back to break it out. Now they break out. Coffey trying to get it across for Lindsman. It's hooked away, and the Flames go to the attack. Patterson overskated it. Coming back is Ken Lindsman. The forwards are really coming back. They're going all out, getting back into their own zone to help out the defense.
Well, it's been very determined effort by the Edmonton Oilers. You know, the 7th game, if you can't win in your own building, now it would be a sad day for the Oilers. So they, right from the drop of the puck down, we had said we expect the Oilers to come out charged, and they've done that, but they've maintained that throughout the contest.
All Baxter working in behind the net. Leaves it there. Beers tries to jam it in front, and again, there were 2 Edmonton Oilers in front to take it to safety as Dan Quinn was breaking in. Hunter goes rink wide for Curry. Curry plays it in behind the goal. Baxter knocks Hunter off the puck, but Eddie Beers manages to pick it up. He comes out with Quinn and McDonald. Quinn with a couple of good moves, puts on the brakes, takes the shot, and back there to knock it down is Wayne Gretzky. Gretzky is usually the last to vacate the offensive zone, but this time he was one of the first to get back into his own zone and help out the defenseman. McDonald runs into Coffey. The loose puck picked up by Curry, and it's cleared. And this will produce an icing call. Tonight's game is coming to you from Northlands Coliseum in Edmonton. .43 is the time left to play in the third. This is the most productive the Oilers have been in this series against Calgary. Their best previous was a 5-goal effort. They got 5 goals in game 1 and in game 2.
Well, they didn't panic, John. We wondered how the Oilers would respond to a 7th game, whether they would be timid. They have been anything but that.
The Flames not giving up, trying to get that puck in front of the net, and it was intercepted and picked off into the center ice area. Bourgeois stepped into Anderson. He lost his stick. Conroy trying to get out of his own zone, ahead to Lube. Lube had it hooked away, and Bourgeois has to go back to try and regroup. Now it's fed to Conroy. Conroy, a rink-wide pass for Lube, comes back to Conroy. His shot bounces off Anderson to the board. Anderson steps into Baxter. Crom got the puck, tried to work for the goal. It slid off his stick, and Fuhr covers up.
Well, there was some question whether Acton would play, and here he sets up the go-ahead goal.
Well, we've just been informed that Paul Reinhart has gone off to the Calgary playing dressing room as Lee Fogelin has drawn an interference penalty at 7:55. And, of course, the problems with Paul Reinhart, the back injury, an injury that was threatening to end his career earlier in the year. He missed 51 games from November 22nd through March the 20th, and apparently he has re-injured that back, and we certainly hope it is not serious. Stanley Cup 84 resumes in a moment. Bob Johnson, the coach of the Flames, calling a timeout with 12:05 remaining, and this was just a few minutes ago when they took Paul Reinhart on the stretcher into the dressing room. That is not a good sign. Reinhart, for each game of this series, something of a question mark because of those back problems. He has apparently aggravated that back injury.
Well, Glenn Sather paid him quite a compliment. He's the best defenseman that the Oilers have faced all year, both offensively and defensively.
Baxter with a shot, he fired it wide. At the other point, Jamie McCowan now playing it in behind the goal. Nobody in position, and Randy Gregg dumps it down the ice with 1:45 remaining in the penalty to Lee Fogelin. Baxter dumping it up along the boards for Beers to McDonald. McDonald cutting in on the right side. McDonald trying to jam it. It bounces in front of the net and is cleared by Randy Gregg.
A good play by Grant Fuhr. He certainly hasn't been tested since he's come into the hockey game, but there he blocked off the short side for that spin around by McDonald.
McDonald trying it again on the right wing. This time feeds it to Beers. Back to the line for Baxter. Over to McCowan. A shot to save. The loose puck in front. Quick. Takes the shot and fires it wide. And back come the Oilers, led by Gretzky. Behind his back for Hunter. Working to the corner against McCowan. Trying to control it. Trying to use up some time. As the second stick away in the penalty to Lee Fogelin. Now Baxter for McDonald. McDonald against Coffey. Unable to go anywhere with it. And it's cleared. Hughes in across the line. Now Hughes decides to work back into the center ice area. Gets it over to Hunter. Hunter has the puck poked away by Baxter. Pocket Lube can't go anywhere with it. Lube gets another chance. Just 27 seconds remaining in the penalty. Rink-wide pass for Bourgeois. Bourgeois across the line, tied up by Messier. Comes back to Conroy. His drive goes wide. Bourgeois at the other point. Flipping it into the corner for Bozak. Bozak takes the shot in front of the net. Hunter trying to jam it. And Grant Fuhr covered up with just 8 seconds left in the penalty to Vogelin.
And that's one of the few times that the Calgary Flames have put somebody in front of the net because they really haven't had any concentrated attacks going. You see Hunter doing the job now that Beers has been so effective for the Flames during the series, but one of the few times tonight where the Flames have had pressure, they've had control of the puck at the Edmonton end of the ice.
10:13, the time remaining here in the third period. 7-4, the Oilers lead the Flames in this 7th and deciding game of the Smythe Division Final. The winner will open at home on Tuesday against either Minnesota or St. Louis. And Minnesota leading that final game in the Norris Division 2-1 in the third. Back to the line. Conroy with a drive. And Grant Fuhr, a good 15 feet out of his net to challenge the shooter. And now, with Vogelin out of the box, the Oilers are back at full strength. Bourgeois having difficulty controlling it in the neutral zone. Linsman gets it to Lindstrom, a shot, and that's deflected by Lemelin. Lemelin clears it around the boards to Conroy. For Patterson, he was looking for Risebrow too far, and Randy Gregg is back for Edmonton. Linsman on the right side to Willie Lindstrom. Paul Baxter coming back. Lindstrom trying to go around him, and he's taken in against the boards by Baxter. Lindstrom pinned in against the boards, still able to get his stick on the puck, trying to make a play, and then takes it between his skates for a face-off with 9:22 remaining in the third. McClelland, Hunter, and Hughes out there now for the Edmonton Oilers. Paul Baxter coming off to the Calgary bench as Kerry Wilson is out there with Lube and Poplinski.
Now the Oilers are within 1 shot of their average in this series, which is 42. The Flames have averaged 37 shots on net. They have only 18 for the game, so they're well below what they've been able to do against the Oilers in tonight's contest.
Kerry Wilson clearing it. Lube gets it back to Wilson. Wilson on the right side for Poplinski, trying to go around Hunter. He's taken in against the boards. Wilson also comes in there trying to get it free. But Kevin Lowe managed to flip it up around the boards, and it's cleared to center ice. The Oilers tonight working harder than they have at any other time in this series.
There hasn't been anything fancy about the Oilers. I mean, they're always moving the puck ahead, dumping it ahead, and chasing it. So they're also showing tonight that they can do some aggressive forechecking.
Flipped into the corner for Lanny McDonald. Back to the line. McCowan with a drive, and Fuhr kicks that one out. And Randy Gregg clears it back to center ice. Paul Coffey following on the play, deciding to retreat to his own zone. Lead pass for Semenko. Semenko tried to get it over to Gretzky. I think every time he touches the puck, he looks for Gretzky to set something up. Gretzky came back very quickly there to tie up Lanny McDonald at the side of the net. They're trying to get it out front, but the Oilers, with 2 forwards coming back deep to help out, managed to get it out of there and clear it to center. Bourgeois firing it off the board, stopped at the line by Kozar, one of his few shifts in tonight's hockey game. He races after it in the corner. Kozar trying to beat it back out front. Messier had it poked away as the Calgary Flames rookie center Dan Quinn unloads a long drive, and then he goes to the bench. 7:26, the time left to play here in the third. 7-4 the score in favor of the Edmonton Oilers. Patterson controlling it back to the line for McCowan. He was tied up by Willie Lindstrom, couldn't get a shot away. Now Richard Crom tries to feed it out. His pass deflects, and it's picked off by Anderson. He cleared it. Patterson picked it off. Waits for his mates to get onside, then fired it in. And finally Anderson dumps it down the ice. This will produce an icing call with 6:53 remaining in the third. This Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from Northland Coliseum in Edmonton. Well, during the first 6 games of the playoffs, Gary, everybody was talking about how hard the Calgary Flames were working, and there's no denying that fact, but tonight the Edmonton Oilers are doing the work.
They certainly showed us something.
A loose puck into the center ice area. Lindsman simply dumps it down into the Calgary zone. Bourgeois is forced to go back. He plays it back out to center ice. Wilson runs into Hughes in front of the Calgary bench. Eight ahead to Poplinski now. Poplinski trying to get around Gregg, manages to, looking to feed up in front. Bozak was spun around, but he still managed to get a backhand away. Cleared again, as the Flames are now trying to apply some pressure, trying to erase this 3-goal deficit, but time is running out. Just 6:11 remaining here in the third period. Gretzky for Hunter. He shoots it in. And going back toward is Paul Baxter. The Edmonton Oilers 6 minutes away from advancing into the Stanley Cup semifinal against either Minnesota or St. Louis. Curry comes deep into his own zone. Tries to feed it ahead for Gretzky. Intercepted by Quinn and fired wide. Semenko now breaks out. For Curry. He had difficulty controlling it. And coming back to break that play up was Jamie McCowan. Now it's Eddie Beers coming in across the line, taken out of the play by Jackson. Quinn goes to the corner with the puck. He loses it there, and Semenko starts back with Curry and Gretzky trying to catch up in the play. Drop back for Gretzky, over to Semenko for Curry. Great save by Lemelin. A pretty three-way passing play by the Edmonton Oilers, and Lemelin robbed Gary Curry. Live on CBC, this is Stanley Cup '84. Behind the goal. The Oilers playing it up along the board, picked off by Bourgeois. He fakes the shot with low down, now gets it into the slot. However, Patterson was tied up and it's cleared down the ice.
Well, the last 5 minutes, the Calgary Flames have certainly gone to the attack. They've tried everything they can to apply the pressure in there. And, you know, that man right there, Bob Johnson, he has done just a tremendous job with this young hockey club. 7, 8 rookies in the lineup for most of the year. The encouragement, the communication that he has with his players. He says, we've got a type of team that we're not afraid of hard work. We'll work them right to the end. Look at that.
Still offering encouragement at the bench to the players. With 4:50 remaining here in the third. The game has definitely been one in which the Oilers have gone all out right from the opening faceoff. Good check as Baxter stepped into Lumley in the center ice area. Again, the Flames to the attack. Wilson feeding it across for Poplinski. He was looking for Bozak, but it's picked off by the Oilers. Forwards coming back to help out those defensemen. Everybody making a contribution tonight for the Edmonton Oilers. 4:12. Time left here in the third as the Oilers make a lineup change. Hunter in across the line, trying to go around McCowan. He's knocked into the boards and falls on top of the puck for a faceoff.
Well, to a man, the Edmonton Oilers knew exactly what they had to do, is play a game where everybody contributes. You know, we have an expression, a lot of tape and guts. You tape the stick and you get the guts from within, and that's exactly what the Oilers showed tonight. On the other side, nothing but the utmost respect for the Calgary Flames. As you mentioned before, Don, everybody thought it would be a sweeper in 5, but they battled, and they continued to battle. A good hit by Baxter on Dave Lumley.
At the line, Paul Coffey breaks it up. No doubt, here in the third period, the Calgary Flames missing 2 valuable members of their offense, Paul Reinhart and Mike Eads. Lanny McDonald has the puck taken away by McClellan. For Randy Gregg, back to McClellan. McClellan with a backhand shot through traffic, but it's picked off by Bourgeois. 3:24 time left here in the third period. 7-4. The Oilers leading the Flames. And if it's touched by Lowe, icing is called against Calgary. Our Stanley Cup playoff action continues in a moment. Well, the Oilers now just 3:17 away from advancing to the Stanley Cup semifinal. Gretzky tried to get the draw back to the line. He was unsuccessful. As the puck is fired back in, it goes up into the crowd and out of play.
Well, when you're the leading scorer in the National Hockey League with 205 points, a lot of the responsibility to get your hockey club going falls on your shoulders. And to his credit, Gretzky accepted that challenge and was very instrumental in the 7-4 lead of the Flames that the Edmonton Oilers had. He scored a goal and had a couple assists.
I believe he was quoted in the paper as saying, when you accept the roses for victory, you have to take the blame for defeat. He was ready to shoulder much of the blame for the defeat in games 5 and 6. He did not score a goal in the previous 4 games, but tonight a goal and 2 assists, and he now is the leading playoff scorer with 18 points.
A courageous performer for the Calgary Flames, Lanny McDonald. After that horrendous start against Vancouver, he just kept going and going, and the word defeat does not exist in his vocabulary.
Lanny McDonald was the overtime hero in Game 6, making this 7th game possible. Paul Baxter with a shot through traffic, it just missed. Poked out to center ice, going back after it is Poplinski for Baxter. Lead pass, too far for Poplinski. Now it's Gretzky with Semenko. Gretzky moving it around. Takes the shot. Semenko in front of the net. He was screening goaltender Reggie Lemelin, and the shot deflected wide. Along the boards, Fogelin takes the shot, and it bounces off Kerry Wilson and out of play.
Now the Oilers are content just to keep dumping it in the Calgary end of the ice, make sure they have everybody coming back. Dave Semenko set up in a screen there. The second game now that he's been put on the line with Gretzky and Curry. They really haven't tried to go to the offense, John. Dump it in, move the puck ahead, no bad passes in the slot, and the resulting break against you have everybody coming back. You notice even Gretzky doesn't lag behind. He's back to help out in a back-checking role.
Flames with Bourgeois dumping it along the boards for Lanny McDonald. I'll tell you, there are going to be some tired hockey players after this game tonight. Anderson off the boards to center ice, and still the hitting continues as both Beers and Conroy bump Willie Lindstrom. Coffey moving out of his own zone for Messier. Messier shoots it in. Lindstrom races after it. Lemon trying to play it around the board, kept in by Anderson. It goes to the other side. And finally, Bourgeois clears it. Now, 2 or 3 pucks have been thrown onto the ice by spectators. And that's the reason for the whistle. And the crowd, of course, reacts, booing those who have disrupted the flow of the game by firing those extra pucks out there. 1:40 is the time remaining. 7-4 the score. The Oilers leading.
No, not much time for preparation for the next series for the Edmonton Oilers. They'll practice tomorrow, likely have a light skate, and then get ready Tuesday night for either St. Louis or Minnesota.
8 minutes to play at the Met Center in Bloomington. The North Stars and the St. Louis Blues still tied at 2. And the Oilers continue to press, continuing the forecheck here in the third. Hughes in the corner for Hunter. Back to the line. Hunter gets it again. A shot off the leg. Going in behind the net is Risebrough. Up along the boards for Patterson. He clears it. Risebrough picks up the puck at the line. He's stopped by Hunter. Feeds it into Crom. Crom is checked by Randy Gregg, and it's cleared with 1 minute remaining. Long drive by Jamie McCown. for the Edmonton Oilers. They have been something of a blessing in disguise, Gary. Now that it appears certain they will go on to victory, in that they had a tough series, a tremendous scare thrown into them, and they now are fully aware of the effort it will take to win the Stanley Cup. You see Walter Gretzky, the father of Wayne, and Wayne's mother Phyllis standing back there. They flew out to Alberta for Game 6 on Good Friday. They were disappointed with the outcome naturally at the Saddle Dome, but they're quite pleased with the performance tonight, particularly the effort of son Wayne. Gretzky circling back into his own zone, trying to get away from Kerry Wilson. He lost his stick. But earlier in this playoff series, there were some people who expressed the opinion that perhaps all the Oilers felt they had to do, because of their domination over the Calgary Flames this year, is throw their sticks out on the ice and they were going to win. As I said, this series has taught them a valuable lesson that you must work and work hard in each and every game.
There's no easy way, Don. You have to apply yourself. Tonight, the Edmonton Oilers were by far the better hockey club. The Calgary Flames gave it their best shot, just wasn't enough.